Macho man.
You wanna be a
macho man.
Then
You've come to the right place. Today we're gonna talk about some fragrances that put some hair on your chest, that gives you some balls of steel, that makes you really go from this to no, we're not going Obviously, there. I went a little bit over the top here. We're gonna talk about fragrances that I think smells masculine. That was the introduction. Now the explanation. But before that, for you guys who want to skip right ahead to the fragrances, check the timeline down below. I listed it there. Some fragrances I talk briefly about, some fragrances I talk a little bit more about. But we're here for the explanation. Why do I feel the need to do this video format? It has been done so many times. Well, I personally know that it is not always about gender, it is sometimes a personality question. So I've got a fragrance included here that is very much a personality fragrance. But I also know that there are plenty of people out there that when they think a fragrance smells feminine, they don't want to wear it. And the same thing goes for when they think a fragrance smells masculine, they don't want to go there. And I myself am a little bit there. When a fragrance smells too feminine, I just don't feel comfortable about wearing that fragrance. And that is what it's all about. You need to feel comfortable in what you're wearing. So try and find your own thing, that is fine. And the reason this came up was a video I did recently. Cheap fragrance alternatives. In that video I did talk about Iris, me thinking that Iris smells feminine because it reminds me of my mother's makeup bag. And that rant did stir up some reactions. I was called a little bit of it, a little bit of that, and I can take that, that doesn't bother me. But what did bother me was that some people actually messaged me on Instagram saying that you can't say Iris smells feminine because I think it's unisex, because I think it is masculine, because the general public think it's a unisex note. Well, I'm not here to share the general public's fucking opinion, your opinion, or anybody else's opinion except my own fucking opinions. And I hope that is the reason you found your way to this channel. To hear the magnificent smelly sweets take on fragrances. So let's get into it. Hi all, my name is Tim and you're all welcome to another edition of Smelly Sweet. As I said, some fragrances today I'm going to talk a little briefly about, some I'm going to talk a little bit more about, but the theme is these fragrances I think smells masculine like a man. And the first fragrance out is a personality fragrance. This is not a question about gender in this fragrance, it's a question about personality. I mean, can you imagine Bill Gates wearing Ombré leather from Tom Ford? I can't. Can you imagine Michelle Obama wearing Ombré leather from Tom Ford? I can't, but I can see John Travolta and Madonna pulling off this and really rock it. And I think that when I wear grey denim jeans, a white Henley shirt with some Chelsea boots, it's just a perfect match. Or the cherry on the cake when I put on a leather jacket. Just works. Tom Ford Ombré leather in those cases makes me feel like a man. Next out, we don't have any particular fragrance, we have a line. The Yves Saint Laurent's L'Homme line. It's something there for everybody and I think they smell masculine and manly. The release from 2006 is a classic by now. The Eau de Parfum version released in 2022, you find the original DNA in this one, but with a little bit more of a woody warmness to it. Also a little bit, maybe it goes in a little bit more sweet way. I think that this one works very well with t-shirt and denim. This one works a little bit better when you're semi-casual, like I am today maybe. But Yves Saint Laurent's L'Homme line, I think, is one of the best lines describing what I think is a manly scent. Pavillion Rouge from Joboy. I've talked about this one a couple of times already, and it has rum, leather, tobacco, ebony wood. I think that this is a pirate fragrance. I think that Jack Sparrow could wear this one. No, I know that Johnny Depp is the face of Dior Sauvage, but I easily can see Johnny Depp rocking this bad boy. It would be such a great match, and with the dark ebony wood is what I think makes this one leaning a little bit more to the masculine side. Next out we have the Italian Stallion. This is a sexy Italian dude walking around like he owns the fucking world. Acqua di Parma's Colonia Essenza, a take on the classic release from 1916. But they have amped up every single note on this one and it has a good longevity. Acqua di Parma is often accused of not being the best longevity performance fragrances. This one lasts on my skin this time of the year in the fall when it's a little bit chilly outside for 8 hours, and it does project a good amount as well. But neroli, citruses, a little bit of floral, there's a bunch of notes listed on this one, but the neroli and citruses are in focus in my opinion. No, I said Italian Stallion, sexy Italian dude walking around like he's owning the world. The neroli in this one can be off-putting for some people out there that may associate it with older people. I don't do that. I just see that Italian dude walking around with a shirt on with the top 3 buttons undone, sunglasses on, a little bit of a suntan, and as I said, he walks around like he's the king of the fucking world. Next out we have Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal, the EDT, the original, and I think that this is a very interesting fragrance. Just gonna talk briefly about this one. It opens up with citrus aromaticness, the almond tonka, the star of the show, but dries down with leatheriness. And it just shows that to every man there's just more to him than the first impression. Kalan L'Homme Ideal EDT. The next fragrance is going to talk about is the Aventus DNA. So it's not a particular fragrance, it's the fragrances that has the Aventus DNA. Montblanc Explorer, Creed Aventus, Natural Pineapple and Oak. We have Electimus Imperial, that is kind of a take on Ani and Aventus. So there are different takes on that DNA. We have heard all about it. If you found yourself to this video, you obviously know what Creed Aventus is. But keep in mind that the fragrance community is just a fucking piss in the Mississippi. We are a small percentage of the world. Outside of fragrance community, I believe that 85 to 90% never have heard talking about Creed Aventus. The best thing with this one is that if you're a MILF hunter, they fall hard for this DNA. Ladies from 35 years and upwards, they just fall for it. They think it smells like a fucking man. Next out, Casomorati Mefisto from Sergio. I had to prove myself wrong. This is a citrus floral woody fragrance. In the top you find a bunch of citruses. In the mid you find lavender, iris and rose, which I think leans feminine, but I still think that this one is a very masculine forward fragrance. In the base you have sandalwood, you have amber, you have cedar, I believe, musk probably as well. This is very close to Creed's Silver Mountain Water, but without the inkiness that you find in Creed's version. And I think, as I said, this smells very masculine, and I see this fragrance on people like Richard Gere, George Clooney. I know, men of a certain age, maybe a little bit grey, but still looking fresh and sexy as ever. Next out we have Swedoft Rasputin. When you spray this one in the opening, you get hit by a freshness of bergamot and pineapple. No, not pineapple in the Aventus way, just it's there more to give it a supportive note. But also the cloves and the cardamom comes forward, so it's a fresh spiciness. And I think that that fresh spiciness keeps lingering around all the way to the dry down, and even in the dry down you can get that feeling of a fresh spiciness. And the base of this one is where it turns a little bit darker. From the oud, the incense and the chocolate together just provides a freshness laying above a little bit darkness. Now, this fragrance is strong and potent, and that is what I think of the wearer. When I smell Rasputin on somebody, he comes off like a strong, potent man. Next out we have Dior Homme 2020. This is a beautiful creation. In the opening you have the fresh bergamot, and that with an element that goes in a piney way, you know, a little bit of that piney feeling from the woods, so a fresh piney opening. And then you have cedar and patchouli. Now, doesn't that sound like all these notes can be very edgy, very sharp? But it's not, because in the base of this fragrance you have ISO-E Super, you have amber and you have musk that comes and just softens off the edges. It's kind of like it's swirling around those fragrances, taking away the edges. And that makes it to be a very sophisticated and elegant gentleman fragrance in my opinion. And thank God Dior Homme has given up on Iris. I'm so fucking happy. Now the next step for Dior to take is to cut out the iris of Dior Homme Intense. When they do that, I think that would be the release that I would be looking forward to so much. And I also think that Dior finally realized that iris doesn't belong in a fragrance called Homme. Next out we have Kalan from Parfums de Marly. This fragrance I'm gonna need to talk a little bit more about its magic. There's nothing in between with this fragrance. You either hate it or you love it. But I started off with hating it, and then it turned into a great love, and then I forgot about it, and then I rediscovered it, and it is amazing. It is an amazing fragrance that smells like a determined man, a man with a goal that he is going to get, a man with firm, steady belief in his own confidence. Parfums de Marly Kalan opens up with a lot of spices and a sour, dirty blood orange. Then the lavender kicks in, and from the base you get a warm, sweet, woody, mossy dry down. You also find amber, sandalwood and a sweet tonka in the dry down of this one, and it is just amazing. No, the reason some people might not like this is because they overspray it. Love it or hate it, but don't overspray it. That is an advice. Go with three sprays tops and you're set. You're good to go. Because if you go overspraying with this one, a burnt rubber feeling comes forward, and that is what is not pleasant. I also like to call this my Paso Doble scent. What does that mean? Well, if you know anything about ballroom dancing, the Paso Doble is the matador waving around his lady on the dance floor like the carpet that he's using in the bullfights. It might sound a bit weird that he's bossy and stuff like that, but I like to look at that dance in a different way. The man is so fucking proud of his lady, and he has a lot of pride. He's proud, he's big, he's strong, so he doesn't mind showing the world how beautiful his lady is, and he is, as I said, that confident that even if she attracts other men's interest, she will still come back to him because he knows how fucking good he smells. Parfums de Marly Kalan. Last but not least, we have Platinum Egoiste from Chanel. Released in 1993, so it stood the test of time and is a fucking classic today. This to me is a fragrance that is crisp, clean, down to earth. The crispness comes from the opening of petit grain and neroli. The cleanness comes from the vetiver that you find on the base, together with some lavender and some aromaticness from the herbs in here. And down to earth is the cedar, the musk, and there's no musk listed, but I believe there's musk in it. So cedar and musk and amber provides for the down to earth guy. So for this to me smells like a man that is on top of his shit. He knows what he's about. He is providing a lot of security and stability for his family. Just amazing scent. And as I said, crisp, clean, down to earth. That is the signals you are sending when you wear this fragrance. And we all know that ladies do ask for some stability and security in their life from times to times. So, Platinum Egoiste from Chanel, I think it smells like a real proper man. Whatever that is today, I don't know. There's always differences with that. But I hope you enjoyed this video and that you stayed this long. Thank you very, very much. Now, I don't ask my viewers to subscribe, playing the fucking bell and all that boring stuff. But today, if you stay this long, please hit me up in the comment section. What do you think is a manly fragrance? So until the next time, stay well and be safe. Bye!